Well, hello, Caterham Lockdown Fest. I'm Dan,
And I'm James.
and we're a part of the team at Oakhall Church.
And we just want to start by saying a huge thank you to Louise and the whole Lockdown Fest team for inviting us to be a part of this event today.
It's so important, isn't it? Probably now more than ever to have these times where we can get together as a community and try and encourage one another and help one another during these times.
And Caterham, as we all know, is such a strong community of people, as this event shows. And I know that this will be a time that will lift our spirits today.
Absolutely. And speaking to the team that have put this Lockdown Fest together, we know that there's a theme in this series of a real focus on mental well-being and mental health. And that's a topic that's close to both of our hearts.
Because for many of us, this last lockdown may have been the toughest yet. It's colder, it's getting darker earlier, and it feels a lot harder to summon up that enthusiasm to get outside.
And that doesn't just have a physical effect, but can also carry a mental one too.
But when we do manage to get outside, when we get that fresh air, when we head out on many of the amazing walks we've got around us here in Caterham, there's something that changes.
Maybe it's the perspective of just seeing everything around and taking in some of the great views that we have around us. Maybe it's just the opportunity we have to just process life and having that time. Or maybe it's just because it's nice to get outside for once.
But getting out for that one bit of daily exercise is so helpful for our mental well-being.
And we realised as a church that this is a really important topic about mental well-being, an important conversation that needs to be talked about.
That's right. And last year, among other things, we started something called Walk, Talk and Pray. As we're allowed to meet up outside with one other person socially distantly, people can get in contact and take the opportunity to start a conversation and maybe ending in a time praying for each other.
And many people have said what a real blessing and encouragement it's been just be able to contact, ring up someone and be able to process life with someone, just go on a walk with someone and be in the outdoors, embracing that fresh air.
And if that's something that appeals to you, to meet up with someone and just chat through life, even if you'd like an opportunity to pray, then please do get in contact with us at Oakhall Church and we can put you in contact with someone. And there's loads of different people who are a part of the church family who would love to help in that way.
Often when we struggle with these things, a conversation is often a helpful first step.
As a church, each year we select a verse from the Bible that becomes what we call our verse for the year. And our verse for the year 2021 is taken from a book called Lamentations, and as you might assume, it's not the happiest of books in the Bible, but it's got some amazing truths that are really relevant for our times.
Absolutely. And these verses I think we could probably all relate to in some way, because the writer of this book, he says in our verse for the year, he says, "I remember my affliction and my wandering, the bitterness and the gall. I well remember them, and my soul is downcast within me. Yet," he says, "I call this to mind, and therefore I have hope. Because the Lord's great love, we are not consumed. For his compassions never fail. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. I say to myself, the Lord is my portion. Therefore, I will wait for him."
And the writer, right the way through the book, expresses his anxieties, his deepest sufferings and the struggles that he's facing. And he starts by saying, "I remember my affliction."
And yet, in the midst of the anxieties and the distress that he seems to be facing, the tone, it completely changes. And then he says to himself, "Yet I call this to mind, and therefore I have hope," he says. "Because of the Lord's great love, we are not consumed. For his compassions never fail. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness."
And amazingly, even though he might not be happy, he still has hope. Hope in a God who is a God of such incredible love.
Of real deep compassion towards us.
And constant, unfailing faithfulness each and every day.
And you know, this hope that we've just shortly mentioned is a hope that's something that James and I has really found as a source of strength, especially during these times. And I know for many of those who come and are a part of Oakhall Church.
And it's also a hope for anyone to discover and know for themselves too. As at the end of this verse for our year, it says, "The Lord is my portion, therefore I will wait for him."
The writer kind of says, if this is where this kind of hope is, where this kind of love is, well, he says, well, that's what I'm going to hold on to in my anxieties and the distress that I face.
And we hope that this conversation around mental well-being that we're having today, this too provides us with great comfort in these times that we're going through.
Well, we just again want to say a huge thank you for being a part of this great event that the Caterham Independent has put on.
And we're excited to see what's coming up next in Caterham Lockdown Fest 2.0.
So wherever you are, whatever you're doing, we really hope you're well, and take care, and God bless you.